I've always had a bit of a thing for Panerai. I love oversized watches, iconic design features, and vintage design. Check, check, check. But I've never put my money where my mouth is and actually bought one. I haven't liked a Panerai enough to shell out the $6,000, $7,000 or more that these cost. And I'm not the only one. According to the Morgan Stanley Swiss Watch Report, Panerai has gone from being the 13th most popular Swiss watch brand to the 18th in the past 6 years. I go to lots of watch events and meetups, and scarcely do I see a Panerai. So what is the Panerai problem? If you're new here, my name is Brittany, and on this channel we just talk all things watches. This is a series I've been doing where I've been evaluating some of my favorite watch brands and why we don't see more people wearing them. Just as a disclaimer, before we get into the deep weeds, this is not a Panerai hit piece. I freaking love them, but I just want to explore some of the problems people have with them and why they seem to be waning in popularity. Thank you for your viewership. I never thank you guys for watching my videos, and I should because you guys keep this channel alive, so thank you. So one of the things I've noticed from doing this series is sometimes a brand's greatest strength can also serve as their greatest weakness. One of the things I love about the Panerai catalog is that it is simple, almost to a fault. They have 4 product lines: the Luminor, Submersible, Luminor Due, and the Radiomir. And their design language has really stayed the same since their introduction. For me, I kind of like that they stuck with that same aesthetic. If it ain't broke, why fix it? But the problem is, maybe it is broke. With the sharp decline in sales we've seen these past few years, maybe people are feeling like they've become stagnant. The only big critique I have of Panerai in the design evolution department is that they feel very of an era in a bad way. They feel very early 2000s when big watches were all the rage, but now, as general tastes seem to lean closer to 38 to 40 millimeters, Panerai just feels a bit dated. Lex at Fratello has written an article likening Panerai to the Hummer, and I think this is the perfect comparison, and go check out that article as soon as you finish watching the entirety of this video, of course. For me, it's not the design language that I have a problem with. I love the 2000s, baby! But my biggest problem is the extra large sizing. Panerais are humongous. For most brands, a 44mm watch would be their largest model, but that is the Panerai average. In the world of Panerai, a 42mm is a small watch and a 38mm is a woman's watch. Now, this is one of those things that puts me in an awkward spot because on the one hand, I am a card-carrying member of the Itty Bitty Risk Committee. But on the other hand, I kind of love that they know who they are and they're not going to change just because fashions do. I love some good old stubborn refusal to change. Now, I think this is one of the biggest reasons why watch enthusiasts steer clear of Panerai, their movement controversies. Historically, Panerai was never a movement manufacturer. Their origins are closely linked to Rolex, both helping each other out with the case design and movement production. The earliest Panerai watches were designed and manufactured by Rolex using pocket watch movements made by Corday. Then, in March 1997, Richemont acquired Panerai, which has resulted in the unclear way of communicating whether their movements are outsourced, in-group, or in-house. If you want to get into the deep weeds of Panerai movements, Periscope has the most in-depth resources out there. I'll link some of his stuff down below. But there are 2 big scandals that stand out to me. So, 1, the in-house P9200 chronograph movement, and 2, the PAM 318 Brooklyn Bridge. Let's start with the more recent. At Watches and Wonders 2021, Panerai presented a line of 5 new chronographs, which was fitted with the new in-house caliber P9200. Thanks to the investigating of Periscope, he found some suspicious things about this movement, like the ETA 2892-A2 stamp on the movement. Now, the ETA 2892-A2 on its own is not a chronograph movement, but it can be, and frequently is, modified as one. Movement controversy number 2, the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, strap yourselves in. This one is bad. So back in 2011, Panerai released this watch, the PAM 00318 Brooklyn Bridge. It was limited to 150 pieces and only available at the New York boutique and retailed for $5,000 USD. Great looking watch, happy days. But one of the purchasers of this watch opened the case back to find a movement I can only describe as diabolical, unfinished, and a lower end ébauche movement. Now, I don't think anyone chooses Panerai for movement finishing. I'm not expecting Côte de Genève or Patek levels of finishing here. But this was bad, even against other Panerais. WatchPro did a fantastic article about this, and here are some of their photos. On the left is photos from another Panerai, the PAM 414, and the right is the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, look at these. There is no way around it. The Brooklyn Bridge is awful. And it's controversies like this that really hurts their brand perception and sticks in people's minds. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, but during World War II, Panerai became linked with the wrong side of history. I don't want to get too into the deep weeds on this one, and there's many other brands that have been linked to this same wrong side of history, like Mercedes, Porsche, and history is just messy. But most brands try to not call attention to their dark past. So when Panerai's current marketing team reminds people of this period of history, it's concerning. Hey guys, Editing Brittany here. Something I feel like I should have said and mentioned in this section is that according to Panerai lore, Giuseppe Panerai did not deliver his watches voluntarily, hence why he refrained putting his name on the dial during this period of time. Another big part of the Panerai problem is the sheer amount of fakes and replicas in the market and how easy they are to fake. Because their movements are so basic, and same with their design elements, they are quite easy to make high quality counterfeits. Now, it's not their fault that there's people out there making counterfeits of their watches, but it has made me personally not want to buy one from the secondary market. I know it's probably not a fake, but man, there's some really convincing ones out there, and my Panerai knowledge just isn't good enough to confidently spot a replica. Which now brings us to the last problem, the price. So I don't want to go secondary because I'm scared of replicas, but also their retail prices sit within a pretty competitive category. And I know for me, I've just always found myself spending my money elsewhere, and I've not been able to pull the trigger on the Italian brand. Panerai falls within my favorite price point, the £5,000 to £8,000 range. This is where you see a step up into more luxury timepieces. You get better finishing, better movements, iconic designs, and the price kinda stings, but in a good way. You kinda like the sting. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? It's where you have to save up for a few years. It's a very considered and special purchase. At least it is for me. So when I spend this kind of money, I need to be pretty sure that this is the watch I definitely want to get. Like I was saying, Panerai has found themselves in a pretty competitive pool with brands like Rolex, Omega, Cartier, IWC, Chopard, Zenith. Coupled with their lack of evolution and giant case sizes, I think a lot of people end up choosing to spend their money with other brands, especially as watch trends seem to be moving smaller. Once again, Paneristes, don't crucify me. This isn't meant to be a Panerai hit piece, but rather exploring why we don't see more people buying Panerais, and these are the things that have kept me from purchasing one. My collection, currently, is Panerai-less, but I don't think this will always be the case. Here's my favorite Panerais, the 38mm Luminor Due Luna. I'd personally ask for this on a blue strap. No offense to the pink, but yeah, great watch. And the 38mm Luminor Due with the smoky gray dial. Yes! Every time I see these and I try these on, I fall more in love. I take wrist shots. I seriously look at the account and think, can I make this work? I think I am going to buy that smoky gray dial one day when money is right. And money maybe could be right if you like, comment, subscribe, and watch every single one of my videos forever. That might be one of my worst transitions yet. I should cut that out. But anyways, guys, these were just some of my thoughts on Panerai and why we don't see more people wearing them. I'd love to know if you have another perspective that you'd like to throw in there. Let me know in those comments down below. Do you love Panerai? Do you dislike Panerai? Tell me everything in those comments, and I'll see you down there. And now, let's thank the fabulous, gorgeous, wonderful, never did anything wrong in their lives ever Pope tier patrons. Oh crumbs, my camera did actually die this time. There's a lot of times where I'm filming and my camera is threatening to die. But it doesn't die at the end, but this time it actually did. But the names on the screen, this isn't about me, this is about the names on the screen. These are the gorgeous, fabulous, wonderful Pope tier patrons who support my weird little channel. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you all tier patrons. Special thank you to the Pope tier patrons though. And if you haven't heard yet, this is the perfect time to get onto Gringa Patreon to become a Pope tier patron specifically because it's Christmas card season. Yay! So every year at Christmas, the Pope tier patrons get a Christmas card from Gringa HQ. And I can't wait to send those out. I've got them all bought. It's time to start writing them. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you for supporting my channel. You're all amazing. Bye, guys. Sorry, Paneristes. I love you. I'm sorry.